Have you gone to the market lately? Because I know people have people that go to the market for them.
No,
Your
I go to the
children,
market.
your help, your
I
siblings.
go to the market.
So tell me your experience about the prices, market, because lately I heard that there was this news going around that prices are beginning
To drop.
to drop. I haven't seen it. I don't know where people have been going to buy the areas, the markets from where these prices have been dropping.
Okay.
Maybe they should educate us so that we can also visit those markets. But from where I go, there has been no drop.
Okay, so you see, this brings us to the Nigerianness we're talking about now, right?
Hi there, everyone. You're welcome to another exciting and interesting episode of The Conversation. I am your host, Elizabeth Samsedi. It is my pleasure to have you join us again today. And how has it been? How is the situation of the country going? How is the fuel situation? I hope it has died down a little bit. It has actually died down everywhere. The only challenge that we have now is the money to buy, because it's high, it's expensive. It's as high as 1,000 naira. But well, let's keep our fingers crossed. We are hoping that in the nearest future it's going to be as affordable as the telecommunication is right now. Remember the time when the GSM really came, how it was just the high and mighty that could afford cell phones. But today we have even a SIM card. A SIM card was sold for as high as 50,000, 35,000 then. And we were wondering, God, when? But here it is today. We have SIM cards all over. It's affordable by everybody. I believe that a time will come in Nigeria when the fuel situation will be like that. Today we are going to be diving into Nigeria at 64. In a fortnight, Nigeria is going to turn 64 years of independence. How far? How has the story been? As a Nigerian, what do you think? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Do you think the labors of our heroes past is not being put in vain, has not been put to shame? What's your thought on this area? We are going to be looking at how people are coping. How are you coping? How am I coping? How are Nigerians coping? Coping with the rising cost of living. Cost of living in Nigeria right now is really very high, higher than we have ever seen. But we're hopeful. We are Nigerians, and we cannot all run away from Nigeria. We are still here and trying to put in our best, contribute in any way in your level, with your capacity, within your capacity, of how eventually Nigeria will be great again. I have with me a lovely lady at the studio today, rather, on the conversation that we are going to dive and dissect these issues, matters arising in Nigeria. She is no other but Dr. Josephine Ogali Abraham. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Dr. Josephine here is the founder CEO of Love to the World Initiative, right?
Yes.
And she's a writer, a motivational speaker. She sings. You sing. I'm sure you'll give us a line before the end of the show. She's a singer. She's a humanitarian, and many more. Once again, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Looking at your profile, there's something circled around it, and I read to enlighten. Your mission is to enlighten, counsel, uplift, and encourage the downcast and needy in the society, as well as provide support for laudable government policies. Just very quickly, tell us about the Love to the World Initiative.
All right. Well, first of all, when you were doing the introduction, you talked about how Nigeria is going to be 64 a few days from now. And I really want to congratulate all of us, first of all, that we've made it this far.
We've made it this far.
As one nation.
And we shall make it beyond.
Yes. So congratulations, fellow Nigerians. So, yeah, that's where we start from. Yeah, Love to the World is actually like it was born out of a need to reach out, like you read from the profile, to everyone who is hurting out there, as many as we come in contact with, as many as we see anywhere. And even if it's just a smile that we have to share, we will share. And if we do have any information that we know can help you solve certain situations in your life, we'll make them available to you as much as possible. Because most of the things that people face in life is based on either what they know or what they do not know. So if you do understand, for things as small as knowing how your mind works as against the way that it should work, it's just that difference alone can be like salt in food. As in, you have everything in the pot of soup, but just that little intangible salt that is missing
Can
could
make a
just,
lot of difference.
yeah, it could just make it bland and useless. So even if it's as small, the thing we come with is as small as that salt, as intangible as salt is. That's the way we operate. So we look out for gaps. And when we see the gaps that we can
try
fill,
to fill them.
we try to fill those gaps as much as possible in any environment where we find ourselves, and even in the lives of people that we come in contact with on a daily basis. Yeah.
Okay. You see gaps, you try to fill them.
Yeah.
Nigeria, I know you are very passionate about Nigeria.
Yes.
And you will agree with me that we have a lot of gaps, right? We have a lot of gaps right now in Nigeria, ranging from no jobs, the jobs are not there. We have our children graduate annually. They graduate and they don't have jobs. Parents are crying out loud. Parents take their children to school, pay so much on school fees, accommodation, feeding and all that for their children. A lot of parents, for the fact that they want their children to finish up school, graduate on time, so that they can be on their own and earn a living, which is the dream of every parent, to the extent that they move them away from the public schools, which encounters strikes and all that, to private schools where they have to pay so much. And afterwards, when the child graduates and comes back home, it's still a liability to the parents. There are no jobs. The child is not meant to be blamed. There are such challenges. These are gaps. I'm trying to fetch out a couple of gaps right now. All right? And for that fact, for that reason, even the children become frustrated. We have youths in the streets. Most of them not because they want to be in the streets, because they are out of frustration. They are there. All right? They see they that decided to get educated and be decent and do decent jobs, and when they are done, when they are graduated, they find out that they are not able to do that. Maybe some of their mates that had dropped out, they see them making money. They wonder, oh, does it mean I don't know what I'm doing? Does it mean I wasted these years and all that? All right? Even the frustration from the parents could push them. See your mates, see John, see Joseph, see Peter. Are they not your mates? They didn't even go to school, they are making it. So what are you waiting for? So this is pushing a lot of youths to the streets. That's on one side. Then we have hunger. It's a very popular word right now in Nigeria. We have food insecurity. You can imagine a nation like Nigeria in agriculture. In my earlier newspaper review this morning, we were discussing who is even the Minister of Agriculture. Does he even exist? Because we hear less of him. A lot of people don't even know his name, because they don't even know it does. They believe that the ministry is not working, nothing is happening. And this is the areas outside oil where Nigeria is supposed to be focused, agriculture. I sidelined. The government said they are doing something, but it's not a reflection yet. The people are not feeling it. So we have food insecurity. Then we have insecurity itself. People are afraid to travel, to sleep in some communities. To sleep at night is a challenge for them, right? Because of banditry and all that. Then we have herders, farmers clashes. That gave birth to most of this banditry and all that. So there are a lot of holes, a lot of gaps to cover. So which aspect of these areas are you in your foundation, your initiative, looking into?
Okay, so these problems they exist, right? And it's really
That's
very,
to mention just a few.
yes, they do exist, and it's really very pathetic. And there's nobody on earth today that is not feeling it. Yeah, there's nobody on earth that's not feeling the changes that have come over the world over, and most especially Nigeria. There's nobody who can.
Definitely, you cannot cover all the gap, but which aspect are you
Yeah,
really
so
into?
so the thing is, when you see problems, for you to be able to solve some of it, you must look at the root cause, right? And then when you see the root cause, then you see the effect it has had on the people. Then you now know how to mitigate. Most of what we're doing right now is dealing with emotional issues, because a lot of people need to be mentally fit.
To function.
Yeah, to function
right
now. And that aspect of actually looking into the mental health of people is not something that we'll talk about. It's not something that we really think about. Because if you can't think straight, you won't be able to even know how to rise up.
That's right.
From a very bad situation. So we're doing a lot of counseling right now. A whole lot of, in fact, sometimes on a daily basis, we hardly have time for ourselves because a lot of people are calling in, they're discussing their problems, and we can see where the problem is. They can't see, but we can see where they can solve it from. For as little as people worrying about how am I going to do tomorrow, my children are going to go to school, I don't know how to pay their school fees, and there's nobody to help and stuff like that. And because of that, it's causing quarrels in the home, and because of people are breaking down.
A lot of issues of money causes a lot
exactly. So there's a lot of
conflict
tension, couples screaming at each other and not having understanding. It's affecting almost every aspect of the human life. So we're having to engage in a lot of counseling on a daily basis and saying, why don't you just simplify your life? It's not as it used to be. You are just struggling to try to make it work the way it used to be before. It's not so anymore, and it's likely never going to be so. So why not just really adopt some changes that can help?
Can we talk about this adoption? What kind of adoption? Which areas would you want people to change?
All right. So if you had your children in a school that was very expensive, and now you can't afford to pay, and let's say you have 3 of them in that school, why not look for a school that is affordable? If you search very well, you will find one. Apart from the class consciousness, but forget about it. Let the children just get education first, right? And then 2, we're saying the fuel cost is very high.
It is high.
So if you have to do school run, and it stretches for very long distance place, you're going to spend more on petrol. So why not look for schools around the vicinity where you live? And if you can't find, it will be worth looking for accommodation near where schools are, where you have a lot of the amenities.
Talking accommodation, that's another topic altogether. You know how expensive accommodation is now.
Yes, but you do the checks and balances and say, okay, which one weighs higher than the other one? And if you lived in a very big house before, you've been living in a big house, let's say you've been living in 3 bedrooms, and it's very expensive now for you to pay because there are other expenses that you have to meet up with. Why not look for a place that is smaller and just arrange it very well? If you arrange it well and keep it clean, you'll be happy. And then you move forward.
For those that own their own properties, that own their own houses, maintenance is a challenge right now as well.
Okay,
maintaining it.
What?
So do you advise such people that have, over the years, they had the means, they could afford to build their house, they own their houses, and right now because of how things are, and they can't maintain. Of course, you agree with me that anywhere where you live, you need to maintain it, right?
Yes.
So for those that cannot afford to maintain such properties right now that belongs to them, what would you advise them to do?
Okay,
would you advise them to leave it and go look for smaller houses?
No, you can't. You won't do that. Let's say that you have a house that's maybe 4 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, right? Think about how you can fit into 2 of the rooms and sublet 1. Yes. You can sublet 1. People do that everywhere in the world. You can sublet 1. And so what you earn from that 1 room, it should cover some of your costs of maintaining the other part of the house until things normalize for you. So there are always adjustments that you can make. And instead of just maybe buying food from restaurants, there are people who still buy food from restaurants. We've had to talk to so many women and show them how they can use small money to make meals for 4 people that can last for like maybe 3 or 4 days. Before they start thinking.
I'm sure the people that still buy food from restaurants are the people that can really, really afford to cook, because right now, buying food from restaurants for the average, I don't even think the idea would come their way. When, like you have rightly emphasized, that they can use that same amount to cook at least something that they can eat up to 2 times, that they will just get to the restaurant and use it once.
Exactly. But even in going to the market to buy the things you need to cook with, some creativity is required. I've had to talk to women, and I discovered how they just really didn't know how some of these things work. They just didn't even know what foods contain certain nutrients that are cheaper than the ones that they've been buying before, but they contain the same thing that they can use. So a lot of awareness is required right now for people to be able to cope. Yeah. So the situation is the way it is. We're not in government, right? And I really want to appeal to Nigerians that let's start by forgiving the government for the things that you think they're not doing.
What do you mean forgiving?
Well, almost everyone is angry with government and saying that the reason why we're going through the problems is because government hasn't done well.
So on your path, in your own thoughts, why do you think we are going through what we are going through? Including...
Oh, I really love this question.
Including...
I love it.
Including electricity tariffs. All right?
Yes.
Because you could, in your council, you just told them that if they live in a house that is either 3 bedrooms and they can't afford it, they should rather move to 2 or 1 bedroom or something.
Sublet one.
All right?
Yes.
What about electricity tariffs? Everybody pays that. Everybody buys that. How would you counsel on that?
Okay, so before now, I've always known that Nigerians have been very wasteful people. I can tell you that. We have been very wasteful. You turn on the tap, the water is just flowing. You don't need as much as that to do what you're doing. Electricity, you just turn on your bulbs and they are on.
I
whether
think,
you need it or not.
Over time, Nigerians have learned. I don't think they are that careless anymore.
So we're just beginning to learn what other nations have been doing before. For example, Britain, in the UK.
All over.
Yes, people have been managing their lives very well. They don't waste space. They don't waste water. They don't waste electricity. They don't go for too many clothes, too many things, the partying and all of these things.
Or buying what they don't even
need. Exactly.
Just to show off. I think that's over, because I wouldn't believe that there are people that still do that right now.
People waste time. People waste time. They waste electricity, waste water, waste everything. We have been very wasteful people. But now we're beginning to learn. And then in the past, people were dependent on others. You earn some money, but you don't think that money you earn is enough. You depend
on your brother.
You think that
you feel is well to do.
You think the other person has, what you need. What you need is with that person. We have not been thinking about how we can use what we have. For example,
living within our means.
Yes, for example, you're going to go to a party, right? You're going to have a party, or somebody has told you that you should come. They've invited you to a party, and you're looking for a new dress. Why? Use the one you have.
Absolutely.
Use the one you have. Oh, but a lot of people have seen me wear it before. So what? Just make sure it's clean and tidy. And it's your presence that we're talking about, not your clothes.
Do people still really have that mentality of people have seen me wear that dress before, I don't want to wear it again?
Oh, well, a few people in my world, for example, people who are into entertainment and into the show business, yes, some people still have that. And so that can be a problem. You just think that the whole world is crashing on you, but the whole problem is because you're thinking, what will people say? What will they think? Oh no, I have to do this.
And think for what
I have to do this.
On.
I have to do that. Yeah, a lot of people are very conscious. I'm just even really giving you an example of such things. So there are things you can eliminate. If they invite you to a party that you can't attend because you have to travel, and say somebody his wedding, or somebody died. If you can't go, you can't go. Don't go borrowing.
Right. Okay.
You can't go. Just be honest.
Yes, let me bring you back to, you said Nigerians are angry with the government. For what reason? Obviously, you feel that the government should not be blamed, or that they should forgive the government. In your opinion, what do you think gave birth to all of these challenges economically that Nigeria is undergoing?
All of us together. And each time I say this thing, when I say it to press, especially writers, they say, no, why are you not talking about government? The reason I'm not talking about government is because the people in government right now were not people in government last year, 2 years ago. They're not the same people.
Yes, but at the same time, because they were not the same,
no,
the government is continual.
I'm saying that to say something.
Okay.
I'm saying that to say something.
All right.
So it means that you and I that are not in government today, it's possible for us to get into government tomorrow. And when that happens, it's the person that we have always been that we will be when we're in government. If we have been creative, if we have been creative on our own as Nigerians, we will get there and be creative. If we were patriotic citizens, we will get there and we'll be patriotic. Do you understand? So that's why I say that every one of us has a role to play in this thing. Try to go to the federal ministries. Yes. Try to go to the federal ministries. If you've not worked in the federal ministries and you've not done business with them, then you may not understand this thing I'm saying now. When you get into a new office, you know what they will do to you. They'll come and tell you that, oh, guy, in this place, this is how we do it. It's Nigerian, so. And if you do not agree and say, no, I don't do that kind of thing, then they'll frustrate you. They will set traps for you, and then when you start complaining,
for that reason, you don't think it is the duty of the government to be able to work on the civil service for that to end?
The person in government, I don't know how to explain this thing for you to understand what I'm saying. Let's all change, everybody. Let's all change. We're all contributing to the problem.
You should start from the head. Right?
Let me give you an example.
From the leadership.
If you are in leadership and then you see a road that is broken down, when you see a road that is broken down and then you're saying, we need to fix this road, you send your subordinates or the people that report to you to go and find out how much it costs to fix the road. You know what they will do? They think, all right, this is our opportunity to make money. So let's add this, let's add that, let's add this, let's add that. Everybody's going to want to have a stake in it. By the time the bill comes to you, it's so high. Then you're looking at the budget and say, okay, this road has to wait till next year because this cannot be accommodated. And all of them will keep quiet. So you see do you understand what I'm saying now?
All right.
Are you going to leave your office to go there to go and find
out
all by yourself?
We're due for a break. At this point, we are going on a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're welcome back to the conversation. My name remains Elizabeth Samsedi, and with me on the studio is still Dr. Josephine Ogali.
Abraham.
And we are discussing, our topic of discussion today is Nigeria at 64, coping with the rising costs of living. That's our focus of discussion for the day. Okay. Still, as far as your foundation is concerned, taking care of downcasting and the downcast and the needy, all right, yes, in Nigeria. And you talk about government policies. Let's talk a little bit about government policies. Do you think this government have policies enough, or do they have policies that have been implemented that you think can work around these areas of challenges that we have mentioned?
Well, this government is still new.
After 1 year, going to 2 years,
it's still new.
You're one of those that in the school of thought that the government is still new.
It's still new, and I kind of see them. They go this way today, and they think it's not working. They come back this way, and they think it's not working. So that's
like a try and error.
And not quite. Not quite. Things are not the same. Sometimes the way you see things, the way you look at things, is when you see some things, what you're seeing may be different from what it really is. So there are things you could actually just take for granted.
In every country, when there are economical, any kind of challenges, security, name it, whatever it is, All right?
Yes.
It is the duty, do you agree, that it is the duty of the government to make efforts, make policies that will bring solutions to those challenges?
Yes, it's the duty of
So if
government.
you agree that it is the duty of government, why are you not looking at it from the perspective that, yes, we should hold the government accountable to ensure that this, yes, you have emphasized that it's all over the world. Whatever it is that is happening in Nigeria right now is not pertaining to Nigeria alone. Every part of the world are having it hot in their different forms, in their different ways. Still, it is not you and I that will find solution to these challenges. It is still the government.
It is.
So do you think right now, this present administration, government is a continuum. It's a continuous process. It's not meant to be. But in Nigeria, really, how continual is administrations? Administrations come, they make their policy to try and do whatever, to have solutions to issues and challenges of the economy and the country. Then that administration ends, another one comes. You see that rather than continue the good parts of the previous administration, you see them make their own. They want it to be on record that it is probably what they made, their own policies, that were able to bring the change. Is that how it should be? Because you just said that the government is still young, even after a year, going to 2 years right now. If you look at it like that, even they'll be there for another 4 years and then nothing is done.
Do you know why I speak like this? I don't know anybody in government here. So
it seems as if you do.
No, I don't. I don't even know any one person in government. But I know Nigerians because I've worked with them from the grassroots to every kind of level.
So what is it about Nigerians you know?
Let's say that the thing I know about Nigeria is this. It's very tough. It's really tough because
it is tough.
Nigerian people are very tough to rule over.
They are as well.
The corruption is deep.
To rule over, you mean?
Yes, the corruption is...
I thought you were going to say that Nigerian people are very tough and they can withstand...
No, they can. In that regard, yes. In that regard, yes. But when we talk about actually coming up with policies that can help the generality of the people, it is tough, no matter how good your policies are. Because the corruption is very deep rooted. I don't even know if the child in the womb has even got some already. Are you with me? It's so deep, you don't understand it. I have worked in places where, even in local communities, where you come up with stuff that can help the generality of the people. Then you will see them eating, the people who are not going to be favored by the changes you're coming up with. There are more. Do you know what we call them? Terrorists in that regard. They are terrorists to your programs that you're coming up with. And they are more in number. So you have to work hard to ensure that you win more of the terrorists to your side before you can succeed. You must find every way to work around them. If you think that just because you are the leader and you are the top, so you can just walk over stuff, you can come up with programs and you're just going to work like that. No. We have more people who will become terrorists to whatever programs you come up with than those who will support you. Because honestly, I've always suggested to government that please stop everything you're doing. Stop every program and concentrate on reorientation first. Because if you don't, you put electricity poles on the street to ensure that there is light. In the night, somebody goes there to cut them off and takes them to Panteka to go and sell. You come back the next day and then the whole place is dark again. And you're in your office still rejoicing that you've put lights in that area. And then, of course, you now hear that the whole place is dark. And then you're having to try to explain to everybody that you have fixed light there. Then you go and find out who did it. Who is the person who's sponsoring this? It's somebody who you probably are very close to, who has probably supported you that you had confidence in, but this person is working for a selfish aim. What are you going to do? It's tough. If government were to listen,
I like that word. Is tough. It's tough. That is why you see those people do those things they do. As far as it's criminal, it's not. It's condemnable. It's not the right way to go for them to go steal government or public properties and all that. But it is because it is tough.
No. Can I tell you something? The people who are stealing government money,
It is the government.
Hear me.
Are they not the ones that are stealing
Okay, so the
money?
people, I have the privilege of having worked in a place where people are paid, highly paid. There are people who are very highly paid for the work that they do, right? They're highly paid, yet they still do underhand things. It's not because
it's becoming, because corruption has eaten Nigeria deep, and it's becoming a Nigerian factor.
No, hear me. It is tough because the people who do who carry out criminal activities is not because they are hungry. It's not just, there are those who do those petty thieves. It's because they are hungry. But there are people who just can't have enough.
How do you?
Those ones who load money and keep. Is it because they didn't have enough?
Yes.
No.
How do you talk when you look at the government? You hear, so that minister, that governor has stolen billions.
He was first in Nigeria.
And no one has been prosecuted. No one has been, properly called to serve a term, a jail or prison term or something over the years. And what do you expect from the people when the leaders, the ones that are leading the people, are seen doing this and nothing? They are going straight. You hear that they've been arrested, interrogated. After a while, whatever goes on, it dies out, and that's it. So what would you want the people to do when they are not seeing justice? Justice is not being served among the leaders, where this is, the rot is from the head coming down. So that's why I told you that when you think that it is from when the head begin to fix itself, and the people are saying that yes, this rot from the head is being amended, that is when them to do follow suit, because they have begun to follow suit to what is happening at the head. This stealing and corruption that has from the head fall to the ground. You don't agree?
Okay, so you say it's from the head, but I say it's from, well, is there anyone that's there? I don't think so. You say it's from the head, but I say it's from under.
Oh, really?
No, hear me. The reason I say so is because these people in government today now, they were not the head before.
It doesn't matter. Government is government. Head is head.
Hear me.
Leadership is leadership.
They came from somewhere. They came from among us, and they came already corrupt. So if we want to stop this, if we want all of this to stop, we have to have a mindset change. Because when these people leave, it's still somebody that is from under that will go there. And when he gets there, it's the person that he has always been that he will be when he gets there on a larger scale.
Leadership is leadership. A good leader is a good leader. A bad leader is a bad leader. Forget whether it's from the but under or whatever. The moment you are a leader, you should have the qualities of a leader. Once you don't have those qualities, your qualities is.
So we're saying this. You have agreed with me.
No, I'm not agreeing.
Finally, you have agreed.
No, I didn't agree with you.
Let me quote you. Let me quote what you just said. A leader is a leader. Mm-hmm. Once you don't have leadership qualities, then you can't be a good leader.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
it is not when you appointed a leader that you start to develop the qualities.
So in other words, are you saying that the leaders that we have in Nigeria are not good leaders? They don't have the qualities of a good leader?
No, my own point is this. I'm not even pointing at leaders, though. I'm talking to Nigerians. Nigerians, please change.
Yes, we're talking Nigeria. We're talking Nigeria for the cost of living and all that, the rising cost of living. It's
everywhere in the world. Yes, it's not only in Nigeria.
But we have to find solutions to what our own. When our solution, it's not for us to find solutions to the world. It's of the United Nations to find solutions to the world. But we are Nigerians. We have to find solutions to Nigeria.
I don't think they're not looking for solutions. I don't think so. They are trying out solutions.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is really difficult.
Let's look at the
agricultural sector.
Yes. Yeah. So far, what do you know anything about the present Ministry of Agric and anything that is? Do you know anything that they are on doing right now?
Even before now, right? Mm. Since the past few years, we've not really had a lot of buzz coming from the agricultural sector.
Why do you think?
Well, it's still the Nigerianness.
But you are in the support.
No, really. It's not. I'm not supporting anyone. They are Nigerians. I'm just generalizing that these people are Nigerians. And what they are doing in their positions is the Nigerianness.
The Nigerian factor.
And let me just be, I've tried to explain to you that it's not easy sitting at that top. It's not.
Then if it's not easy, if you feel it's not easy, you shouldn't be there. You tell us you want to go there to be able to solve our...
Nobody is going to go there that will find it easy. Nobody. Ask everyone that has gone there.
But those that go there tell us that they can do the job.
They thought so.
So they thought
it was going to be easy, just like you are speaking now, right? You're speaking like you think it's going to be easy, right? So imagine if they send you there now.
If I feel or know it's not going to be easy, then I'm not going to one day tell them, I'm going to vote for me.
So it's because you think it's going to be easy.
That's what I'm saying. If I feel it won't be easy, then I won't ask for votes to go there to find solutions.
Get me, Elizabeth. Get me. When you get to that position, you won't work alone.
You are defending.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you what I know about sitting in a leadership position in Nigeria. You're going to have your essays. You're going to have...
Have you been a president before?
No, I haven't, but I serve as president of Love to the World Initiatives, and I have to work with people all the time.
I work with people too.
It's a people thing, and so I have to take the lead.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
at every level, whether Nigeria government or non, leadership at every level has to take responsibility. No excuses.
Definitely. And I don't think that they're not trying. No. I don't think.
But we're talking about the agricultural sector. So I just need your take a little bit of what you think so far. Anything that have been done in the agricultural sector to ensure that the food insecurity we are experiencing in Nigeria comes to an end soon.
Well, the food insecurity, on a serious note, is deep. Is deeper than the minister of Agric can handle. Because when you have a situation where farmers are not in their farms and they are in the IDP camp, those who are supposed to produce food that should come to the markets are not in their farms. They are not even in their homes. They've been driven out of their homes. Right? And then, when you see a situation whereby the few ones who manage to remain in their farms, right, and have produced foods that should come to the markets, there's no road. There are no roads to bring them to the markets. And when they manage to get trucks to bring them out, they have to pay very high costs of petrol or diesel for them to be able to come out. It's a whole lot. So before it gets to where the final user is going to go and buy it, the final consumer is going to go and buy it, the cost has increased very much. And I guess that is why the food is expensive in the market. So if you're able to solve the security situation so that some of the people in IDP camps who are supposed to be in their farms go back to farming, and then the roads, those rural roads are fixed so that the ones who have managed to produce farm products, they can bring the farm products easily to the end users, and maybe even really get a kind of union that can enable governments provide a bit of subsidy for trucks that bring food from the rural areas to the marketplace. It may just reduce some of the costs for now.
Have you gone to the market lately? Because I know people have people that go to the market for them.
No,
your
I
children,
go to the market.
Your help, your siblings.
I go to the market.
So tell me your experience about the prices, markets, because lately I heard that there was this news going around that prices are beginning to drop. I haven't seen it. I don't know where people have been going to buy the market from where these prices have been dropping.
Okay.
Maybe they should educate us so that we can also visit those markets. But from where I go, there has been no drop.
Okay, so you see, this brings us to the Nigerianness we're talking about now, right? So when you get to the market and you see that everybody's is selling at the same price, you know that something is wrong. So they have those unions, okay? They form the union so that they fix a price that everybody's going to sell at, and you dare not sell lower. When that happens, the prices will not drop. Nigerians also undo fellow Nigerians themselves. This is not government now. It's fellow Nigerians undoing Nigerians. That's what I've been trying to explain to you. When you take your car to that mechanic, Eh? He knows that the part is not spoiled, it's something he can fix, but he tells you that it's completely bad and you have to get a new one. You turn your back and he just polishes it a bit and hangs it in a way that will make you come back to him to spend some more money. That is not government.
Your initiative is humanitarian.
Yes.
So which aspect in all of, okay, so far we've been mentioning and discussing in different aspects of where all of these issues, challenges that we've been having.
Yeah.
So in which areas have you really been able to touch?
Well, I told you that of late, most of what we've been doing is in the area of counseling.
Okay.
And providing awareness that can help people manage the little resources
that
they have. And just anything that can give you peace of mind first, for you to be able to function well as a human being, and if there are things we can counsel you to do, at least from within you, from what we know that you can do within yourself. And I think that's what's most needful right now.
Also, you spread peace.
Yeah.
Tell me, in Nigeria, since we're talking Nigeria, how peaceful do you think, looking at tribes and ethnics and all that in Nigeria? Let's talk about it a little bit. How peaceful do you think we've coexisted over these years, this past 64 years of independence?
It can be better. It can actually be better because it's not really as bad, right? It's not as bad as it's spoken about or written about. So most of the tension is because of propaganda. Because if you get to the marketplace, you will see that this person is this tribe, this one is that tribe, that one is different. They're all different.
But we are in the same market.
They're working together. Yes, they're working together. Yeah. Nigerians are usually very kind to one another, right? So, and there are people who just fan the flames of ethnicity, religion, and all that for their.
On this note, on these areas of peace and ethnicity, have you in your initiative, have you worked along that line?
Of course, yes. Did you see that clip you were looking at just now? Can you imagine the Arewa Youth Consultative Council from the 19 northern states coming to give me an award, and I'm from Niger Delta? Can you beat that?
No, it's something more practical. Yeah. That's possible.
Yeah, and that's practical. Because we've been working. And when you were listening to that clip, you heard how that the work I had done in the northern parts of Nigeria.
In the area of counseling?
No. Okay, so let me give you an example. There were times we went on tour, on interstate tour. We took people on interstate tour from the north to Delta. And the thing is for them to experience Delta beyond what they hear, beyond what they read, and also for these Deltans to also speak back.
You went to the north and picked up people?
I lived in the north.
I was living in the north. To Delta
yes, we spent...
So to learn, just to see how
just
the people
experience, are. Yes, experience it. You've never traveled to this part before. And it looks like we're at war, as if we don't like us. Come and see how they are.
For how long were they there for?
For like 3 days or so.
Okay.
And the experience was so good. Was very good. Because then I was living in Kaduna, and for every little disturbance, you hear people from Niger Delta calling me and say, run back home or come and see you so that they don't come and kill you. Because they assume that once you get into the streets of the north, everybody's just going to be killing you because you're not from the south. That's the assumption. So everybody just keeps calling, and we're hearing that there's trouble. They think that they're just cutting people everywhere. So, and I'm like, no, it's not exactly so. It's not exactly like that.
How long did you live in the north?
I lived there for 4 years. 4 years, and I worked with the people. I stayed with it. I went to some of those places where people are afraid to go into because they think that these people will hurt you if you go there. But can I tell you something? If you have a lot of love in your heart, you don't fear.
No, but there's a lot of banditry and insecurity
going
on all over them, particularly in the north.
We're not talking about the banditry and insecurity now. The banditry and insecurity is not peculiar. It's not ethnic. Yes, it's not peculiar. I know. Yeah, the people in the north are not happy with it as well. So it's not a northern It's not like it's a northern thing
No,
that
it's
northerners
not,
are
but
the ones
it's,
doing
there,
it.
it's very much there. And
Yes, yes, it's so. It's just a thing that is peculiar, that is happening there. But there are other things happening in other places as well.
yes,
Yeah. So I need us to look at it that way. So we have this view that every human being is human. Every human being has what is good about him. Every human being has what is weak about him. And if I can forgive myself for my own weaknesses, and I don't get to beat myself, I don't get to reject myself, I don't get to call myself bad names, why can't I forgive yours? Why am I expecting you to not have your own weaknesses
okay.
yourself
Talking
too?
about
Yeah.
ethnicity and all that, there's the bill for to end open grazing. All right,
Yeah.
so right now, and a lot of people from the north that deal on cattle,
Yeah.
cattle business, are against that bill. That they don't want this. They insist that they still want open grazing. When ranches is the order of the day in every part of the world, developed part of the world, open grazing is no longer in vogue. It's obsolete. It's ranches. They are very much against ranching because they said it's their way of life to move, to migrate from one geopolitical zone in Nigeria to another. And for this, having said this, they are looking for a way to ethnicize it. Ethnicize this, going away from what is obsolete to do the right thing. They are ethnicizing it because there's a particular tribe that deals more on cattle rearing business. So what's your take on this?
Okay, so this brings us to what I've always said every time I have the opportunity to do this. Communication is very key. Communication, empathy is very key. Authenticity is very key in managing people of diverse cultures and beliefs.
And tradition, yeah.
Exactly. So if you want to come up with something new and you know that these people, this is how they've always had their things, what have you done first? I would have expected, for what I would have thought, what I think that you can do in that situation is to try to, let me give you an example. Let me use an example. My children didn't used to like things like beans and beans products, okay? And some other kind of foods like carrots, like stuff, if they see it in the food, they pick it out as kids, okay?
As a kid, I didn't like beans.
Exactly. So what do? I'm changing the menu and I know that these people need these nutrients for them to function well. And there are other things that produce the same kind of nutrient that I can infuse into the meal, but they are more expensive and I have a lot to cut down on in this period. So I must bring these things into the meal. What am I going to do? It's either I blend the carrot, blend it very well that they don't see it, and it's inside the food. It's still going to do the same thing. Or I produce the beans in such a way. In fact, I even do as much as advertising it. Like, this is really nice. This is really nice. Come and check it. Come and see. This is good. I look for a way to do it so that all of us on one page, they accept it. I'll give you another example. I once worked as a restaurant manager in my earlier as a youth. And when I want to introduce a new product, I will bring all the waiters and all the cooks to work on a Saturday where the restaurant is not going to be open because it used to be open from Monday to Friday. What am I going to do? I'm going to try to produce it together with the cooks, and then I will serve it myself.
For them to taste it.
To taste it. They enjoy it. They like it. And now that they like it, when they are selling it to customer, because a new product we're going to introduce, they introduce it like their own. It's something they've tested. So they're going to go, okay, test this. Is really nice.
Yes.
So in other words, you must put into consideration what these people have always believed in and find a way to communicate, even if it's a matter of doing symposiums and bringing people to just really model ranching and show pictures of how it works, how the business works.
I think this have been done. Yeah, they have done this.
So, but you do this sufficiently to an extent. It's not like, if not, you're going to do it in such a way that it will look like an affront It's going to look like an affront. And if it looks like an affront, you would have a pushback. That's what you would have. But we must learn to communicate and even consider the feelings of another person.
All right. Let's look at it from another perspective. Also, I don't know if you're of the school of thoughts and agree that also that the Nigerian Constitution needs to be amended, either amended or rewritten, because most of the policies that we are carrying out today is as a result of what is written in our Constitution. And there are a lot of Nigerians that don't want the Constitution to be either written or amended. What's your opinion about Nigerian Constitution? Do you think it's done us well, or you think you're also of the school of thought that it should be amended? Because we are talking Nigeria.
Yes.
As we round up now.
Yes. As president of Love to the World Initiative, in our own internal policy, there are things that pertain to governments that we try as much as possible not to delve into, especially if we know that talking about it is not going to bring about any change. It's not going to do anything. It's just for question and answer. We just really try to avoid talking about it.
Do you think Nigeria Constitution should be worked upon at any level?
Definitely.
Either by amendment or by
definitely.
rewriting?
The world has moved. The world has moved and things have changed a whole lot. And we have seen what works and what does not work. So to that effect, yes.
Okay, so round up again, like I say, Nigeria at 64. Do you think all the administrations ever since Nigeria attained independence so far, looking back, what's in your view? What do you think? How well do you think Nigeria has been faring for the past 64 years, in your personal opinion?
The way my mind works, I just look at the cup and say it is half full instead of saying that it is half empty. So I just look at the positives. So I'm really going to come from the positive perspective because everybody already knows what is wrong. But let's look at the positives, right? We have not done badly as in, you look at other countries there are a lot of other countries that have war right now. Things are scattered everywhere.
Yeah, we have not had war because of the resilience of Nigerians.
No, so it's still a positive thing. We thank God for that resilience of Nigerians. So God has helped us that we've not been torn in pieces. There were times people actually predicted that Nigeria would have been torn in pieces and there'll be corpses all over the street.
Okay, let me give you the opportunity to give your wish to Nigerians on its 64th independence celebration coming up in a few days.
Yeah, so fellow Nigerians, I'd like to say a big congratulations to all of us. Nigeria is going to be 64 in a few days from now. And it's really tough at the moment, but it's not so bad. It could have been worse. Just think about it, that it could have been worse. Imagine if you had to run away from where you are living right now and you're in the bush somewhere, not knowing where to go from there and what's going to happen next, whether you live and survive or not. But God has not allowed us to find ourselves in those situations. So we have every reason to thank God for Nigeria. As we turn 64, let's just be very positive. I think that Nigeria will be great again. I believe in Nigeria. It's going to be great. Nigeria is a country for the future. You will soon see people from all over the world trooping into Nigeria, looking for that little space. And if you're a young man and a young lady looking at me there, just if you make money, don't go for that expensive car yet. Buy a space in Nigeria because very soon people from all over the world will be looking for a space to buy in Nigeria.
Well, at the same
congratulations, Nigerians.
Yes, and at the same time, our youth are tripping, running out of the country. Well,
no. Yeah, the ones going, we wish you luck.
Nigeria is built, and they see reasons why they need to come back.
We wish you luck.
Before we go, as a singer, one line, please. We want to enjoy that voice of yours. Just one line.
So what song do you want me to sing?
Anything. Very quickly,
Come on, let's build Nigeria.
Right.
Let's not destroy Nigeria, because it's our nation.
Right. Thank you. Let's leave it there. Thank you so very much, Dr. Josephine Ogale.
Ogali Abraham.
Abraham.
Yes.
Thanks for coming, and thank you, our viewers, for staying tuned and being with us on this episode of The Conversation. My name remains Elizabeth Samsedi. I'll see you in my next episode. Happy Independence, 64th Independence celebration to Nigeria. God bless Nigeria.